Good afternoon. We'll be continuing our discussion related to the overtaking side distance. And in this specifically, in the last lecture, we have seen that what is overtaking side distance, why do you actually need it, and the main purpose is if you are traveling on such a road, if it has a limited number of lanes, maybe not a multi-lane highway, but a single lane road or a two-lane road, but a two-way traffic. So in that case, it is very essential that you overtake the vehicles because all vehicles can't follow in the same path throughout the distance of the road. So obviously there will be overtaking operations, and if it is there, then there should be a sufficient distance visible to the driver of the overtaking vehicle so that he or she completes the overtaking operation safely. So just to quickly see what we had covered. So we had covered in the overtaking operation, we had covered the what is overtaking actually. Then the theoretical definition I had just shown you here. And then we had seen the factors on which your OSD depends. So these factors are more or less, you can relate it to the discussion that we had during the SSD as well, that what are the factors on which the OSD depends. Then we saw the overtaking scenario. So what can be the scenario? For all the scenarios, we have taken the two-lane road with a two-way traffic. So this is the two-lane road, first and second lane, and then we have taken the two-way traffic on it. So in scenario one, you just have two vehicles. One is the slow moving, which is the red one, and another is the fast moving, which is the blue one. In scenario two, we introduced another third vehicle in addition to this slow moving and fast moving. That was the oncoming vehicle, which was in the opposite direction to the vehicle which is intending to overtake this slow moving vehicle. And in the third scenario, we had seen or we had added a fourth vehicle which is in line or behind the overtaking vehicle, the fast vehicle that we have. And in that case, the driver of the blue vehicle, he or she has to take care that the driver of the orange vehicle should not start overtaking simultaneously during his time frame. So amongst three, then we had seen that which scenario should be taken for analysis, and it came out to be the second scenario because irrespective of this vehicle, the third vehicle, the overtaking operation will be taking place, and this third vehicle will not affect the distance in much of a greater significance. There might be a small significance due to the or it may be during the reaction time, but we can't just say it for sure. So to simplify the analysis as well, we have taken the second overtaking scenario. And then we had seen that in this overtaking scenario, the blue one is the overtaking vehicle, the B, the red color is the overtaken vehicle, and the yellow color, C, is the oncoming vehicle. And then we had seen the actual overtaking operation. It is somewhat like this. It is just at this location, at the ending section of the overtaking operation, it just passes between the overtaken vehicle and the oncoming vehicle. So that's the critical situation. So we had seen in the theoretical definition as well that OSD is the minimum distance. So that much distance has to be there so that the overtaking takes place. If it is greater than that, it's beneficial, but you can't have lesser than the OSD. So in this, we started seeing that we segregated or we marked the locations of the vehicles at different time frames. As in, for the overtaking vehicle, you have A1, A2, and A3 locations. A1 is the initial location. A2 is the location where the actual overtaking operation starts, and A3 is the final location after finishing the overtaking when the vehicle returns to its original lane. Similarly, for the overtaken vehicle, the slow moving vehicle, we have two locations. B1 is the original location when the overtaking operation started, and B2 is the final location when the overtaking operation ended. And for the yellow car, oncoming vehicle, again we have two locations. C1 was the initial location when the overtaking operation started, and C2 when the overtaking operation completed. So if we divide it into distances, so the total process of overtaking, it covered a distance of D1, D2 and D3. And D1 you can say it is the distance covered when, or distance covered during the reaction time. That at location A1, the driver sitting in the blue car, he thought of whether to overtake or not. So that thought process started, and by the time he took the decision, or the driver took the decision to overtake this overtaken vehicle or slow moving vehicle, the driver or the vehicle, it traveled a distance D1 and reached A2. Then at A2, the actual overtaking operation started. That is the vehicle, it moved from its original lane, it shifted to the adjacent lane, it overtook the slow moving vehicle, and then it finally again came back to its original lane. So this distance in which the actual overtaking takes place, that is the distance D2. And by the time this D2 takes place, simultaneously you have this oncoming vehicle in the opposite direction. So it's not a stationary, it's moving one. We have seen in the last lecture also. So by the time this blue vehicle travels a distance D2, at the same time, the oncoming vehicle, it travels a distance D3. Now this is very important to understand for the analysis purpose, that the D2 and D3, they are the distances traveled in the same time frame, but by the different vehicles. So as far as the speeds are considered, now I told you that for the overtaking vehicle or fast moving vehicles, what we are considering is the design speed. Because if a design speed for a highway, if you take 80, and your vehicles, you have n number of vehicles, not just cars, but you have trucks, you might be having 3-wheelers, you might be having 2-wheelers. So you have a variety of vehicles. So in that, we can't really say firmly that vehicles are traveling at so much speed, or all the vehicles are traveling at such a speed. So for analysis purpose, that will become difficult if we take into consideration the variation of the speed as well. So to avoid the complications in the analysis, what we decide is, or what we have decided or assumed is, that the overtaking vehicle and the oncoming vehicle, that is vehicle A and vehicle C, we consider it, they are traveling at a speed of V kmph, capital V, and V is nothing but the design speed. So we are taking the maximum speed that the vehicle, theoretically maximum speed that the vehicle can travel. We all know that in India especially, the speed limit sign is never given proper respect, or it is not just, many of them even don't know what's a speed limit sign or speed limit for the road. So they just travel at anywhere greater than 100 as well. But for analysis purpose, we'll restrict ourselves to the design speed, which is V kmph. And at A2 location, what happens is, A2 is the location where the driver has decided to overtake and will start the overtaking. So the driver will not be traveling at the same speed, V, but the speed will be reduced to VV, and VV is nothing but the speed of the slow moving vehicle, because for a few seconds at least, you can say that the fast moving vehicle slows down and it matches the speed of the slow moving vehicle, and then it decides to overtake. So that's the more theoretical or more safest possible way to overtake. Many of the times you might have also seen that people just haphazardly, just in the speed in which they are traveling, in that speed itself they try to overtake. So even if the overtaking becomes successful in that's a very dangerous approach, and it can lead to disastrous accidents in few cases. So for analysis purpose, we assume that again, the fast moving vehicle A, it reduces its speed from V to VB, and then it starts the overtaking operation. So at A2 location, you have speed of VB for A2 vehicle as well. And there is no change in speed for the vehicle VB because it's a slow moving vehicle. It will travel at its own speed, and we are not looking into any variation in it to avoid the complication. So it will maintain the same speed VB throughout the distance. And as I told you, for the oncoming vehicle as well, we consider the design speed only because we don't know or we don't want to include unnecessary complications, taking into consideration the speed of n number of vehicles which will be traveling at a road stage. So we even don't know the n number, that how much vehicle, how many vehicles will be traveling at a particular instant. So that's a dynamic value, and that will go on changing. So to keep a fixed value during analysis, we consider this design speed V. Now, whatever the scenario I have narrated, or I had narrated in the last lecture, if you recall that I had narrated a scenario that how the overtaking operation actually takes place, and by explaining also I told you some suggestions, some assumptions that were made, that we consider V speed, we consider VB speed, we consider this distance. So all that assumption and narration, it is just written in theory form in these two slides, in this one which is analysis of OSD, and in this slide which is assumptions made. So you can just very well read. It's the same thing that I have narrated in the last lecture and till now as well. So actually coming to the analysis part, now what we have to do is, we know that OSD is nothing but addition of three distances, D1, D2, D3. So we will go on finding each distance step by step. So starting with the D1, so D1 is nothing but, it is the distance covered by the vehicle A, or by the overtaking vehicle, or by the fast moving vehicle, while or in the time frame when the driver takes some decision. So the reaction time which is considered for the driver, so in that reaction time, whatever is the distance covered by this vehicle, that is D1. So if very simple formula, as I told you, in overtaking distances, we don't use any complex calculations. The simple formulas of speed and distance and motion we are going to use. So D1 is equal to VB into T. Now you might, this is the very basic formula, distance is equal to speed into time. This time is the reaction time of the driver in seconds. So we saw in SSD that the reaction time for drivers, which is recommended by IRC, is 2.5 seconds. But in overtaking operation, the IRC suggests it is 2 seconds. Now it's just a difference of 0.5 seconds. So overtaking, it is considered that it's a more dynamic process than the SSD, because your vehicle is moving, or it is traveling with some speed, especially the fast moving vehicles. And most of the drivers, if you considered, so it is desirable for the drivers that without reducing the speed to much extent, they could be, or they should be able to overtake. So that's the psychology of the drivers when they drive, that if they're driving with the speed of 80 kmph, so they would not be very much, or they would be reluctant to reduce their speed up to 20 kmph and then overtake. So instead of reducing that speed by 60 kmph, what they would seek is, they would take the decision instantly that whether to overtake or not. So in that process, they will not also, the speed will also not decrease that much. So that's why the reaction time, it is taken as 2 seconds. Now, if you consider the speed that is considered here, that is VB, some of you might ponder over this thought that I have not mentioned that anywhere, that the distance D1 traveled by this vehicle from A1 to A2, nowhere I had mentioned that the speed is reducing linearly or non-linearly, but what we have taken in the analysis is that speed of the slow moving vehicle. Now, some of you might argue, or not argue in the sense, some of you might think that we should have taken the speed, or the design speed of the vehicle which was with which it was originally traveling, and then it went on reducing gradually. So we really don't take into consideration the deceleration that was done by this vehicle, only because it's not that important as also, and we are trying to avoid the complexity in the analysis process. So if you again go back to the theoretical definition of OSD, so there also we had seen that OSD, it is the minimum distance. So if I have to take minimum distance, so amongst V and VB, PB value is obviously less because it's a slow moving vehicle. So if I use VB, my D1 will be less as compared to if I use design speed V, so my D1 will be more. So we are calculating the minimum distance, OSD, it is the minimum distance which is visible to the driver. So that's why we are considering VB. That can also be one of the justification that why we are using VB in this formula. So that's the distance D1. So it's pretty much straightforward. Then comes the second distance, which is D2. Now D2 is a bit tricky to calculate because what is happening in D2 is actually your vehicle A or overtaking vehicle or the fast moving vehicle, it is shifting from its original lane, coming to the adjacent lane, then traveling a straight distance in the adjacent lane itself till the time it overtakes the slow moving vehicle, and then finishes the operation by again rejoining its original lane. So here if you see what it is, though we are marking it at a linear distance D2, but actually it is not that linear. But again, to avoid the complexity in the analysis, we are not actually considering the slant distance or the sloping distance. We are just considering the straight distance. And this D2, for calculation purpose, we are dividing it into three sections or three parts. That is for mainly two distances, S and B, but the S is twice. Now this S is nothing but the minimum spacing between two vehicles when they are moving with some speed. So in general, now again, it is, if you consider in that way, this S parameter from its definition or the title that I have given, that it's a minimum spacing between two vehicles moving with some speed. So it's again a dynamic kind of distance that you can think of, because it's randomly, if you take any two vehicles moving in a stream, so those two vehicles might be having any speed value, and it's up to the driver, the comfort level and the experience of the driver, that what is the spacing the driver keeps between the front vehicle and his vehicle. So many of the times you will see this variation that if that driver is new or very cautious, so that driver prefers to leave some more distance between the front vehicle, the rear end of the front vehicle, and the front bumper of his own vehicle. But if a driver is very experienced and likes to or enjoys the liberty of controlling the speed of the vehicle, so in that case this gap is reduced substantially. You could notice this next time when you travel on the road. Just observe the behavior, that how the vehicle stopping at the traffic signal, this how is the pattern of the stopping. Yeah, just you can stand as a pedestrian on the footpath or the sidewalk, and then you can observe that some vehicles, they, even though that they see that there's a red light, they travel at a much higher speed, and then in a short duration they just reduce the speed drastically, and then they stand very close to the front vehicle in front of them. Opposite to that, some vehicles, on seeing the red light, they will reduce their speed gradually, and then very slowly they will stop their vehicle at a considerable distance before the slow moving vehicle itself. So this is the concept behind this S, that is minimum spacing. Now, as I told you, it is a dynamic one, but again, for analysis purpose, there is an empirical value for this, or empirical formula for this S, that is 0.7 VB plus 6. So that VB is nothing but the speed of the slow moving vehicle or the vehicle in front of it. Okay. So that's the formula for S. Now coming to the formula for B, distance B. Now we are interested in finding this distance B because that's the only thing which is remaining to find out the distance d2, because we have already seen what is S and we know the formula for finding out S. So coming to B, now during the narration I had told you that this distance g2 is nothing but the actual distance traveled during the overtaking operation. So the overtaking operation, it actually started from A2 and it ended at A3. Okay. So for this scenario, the capital T, it is the overtaking time in seconds, which is the time required by the vehicle A to travel from point A2 to A3. So that's what I have shown here, that from A2 to A3, it is traveling a distance d2, and the time required to travel this distance d2 is the capital T, which is nothing but the overtaking time. And now many of the times some students get confused over here that between the small t and the capital T in the formula, but it's nothing to confuse if you have understood the concept. Small t is the reaction time, the time taken by the driver to perceive the car in front of it, whether it's slow moving or not, and then to decide whether to overtake or not. So that's the reaction time, small t. Whereas the capital T, it is the overtaking time, that is the actual time required by the vehicle to perform the overtaking operation. So that's capital T. Now in this T duration, we have seen that three vehicles are moving, if we see. So in this overtaking time 3, all these three vehicles are moving, that is vehicle A is also moving, B is also moving, and C is also moving. But for now, we will not consider vehicle C, because if you see in the D2 distance, only two vehicles can be accommodated or are accommodated. That is the blue one and the red one. That is the overtaking vehicle and the overtaken vehicle, or fast moving vehicle and slow moving vehicle. So nowhere we have in picture the vehicle, oncoming vehicle, that is the yellow one, the C vehicle in D2. So in this D2 span, in the time capital T, two vehicles are moving. One is vehicle A and another is vehicle B. So understanding this, now we have two vehicles traveling at different speed, but we have the time common in between. That is the capital T overtaking time. So in this T duration, vehicle B travels the distance B, small b, which is equal to VB into T. Now obviously you can see from this diagram itself that for this red vehicle, if we see, so from B1 to B2, that is actually the small b distance, okay, that is traveled by this red vehicle or the overtaken vehicle, slow moving vehicle. So the same thing I have written here. So in the duration capital T, B vehicle, it travels a distance of small b. So just again, if you have to find that distance small b, so it is equal to VB into T. Okay, VB is again the speed of the slow moving vehicle. But now here if you see the T, we have taken the capital T. Whereas in D1, the formula for D1, we had taken VB into small t, and this small t was the reaction time, and this capital T is the overtaking time. So that's the important thing to note and understand and keep in mind. So with this, if we find out the formula for D2, so it comes out to be 2s plus VB into T, because D2, if we see, D2, it is comprising of three components, S plus B plus again S. So it is nothing but D2 is equal to 2S plus B. And for vehicle B, we have seen that is small b is equal to VB into T. So this is the first equation that we'll keep. Now again, as I told you, in this time duration of capital T, the overtaking time, two vehicles are moving. So we have seen this first equation which was related, or we had taken into consideration vehicle B. Now in that same time duration, you also have a vehicle A which is moving, but now the way in which this vehicle A is moving, it's different from the vehicle B. Obviously, because vehicle B is just maintaining its same speed, the same slow speed throughout the time, capital T, whereas vehicle A, it accelerates from the initial velocity. Now we have considered that at A2 location, the velocity of vehicle A is VB. So it will accelerate from this initial velocity, it will overtake vehicle B, and then it will reach the A3 location with the final velocity again small v, or the design speed. So hence the distance, if we find out that d2 distance that is traveled by A, mind well this in this equation, this d2 distance is the distance traveled by vehicle B. And now we are calculating the distance g2 which is traveled by vehicle A. Okay, so the distance is same, or the distance notation is same, d2, the time is same, capital T, but the vehicles are different. So that's why the equation which will work out for this d2 for vehicle A and vehicle B, it will be different. So now again, if we consider the second equation of motion, that s is equal to ut plus half at square, that is the equation when we use when we have acceleration, or when any body is accelerating, and then we have to find the distance of that distance covered by that body. So considering that equation, we have just substituted the values. Instead of s, we are writing d2, that's the distance or the displacement. Ut, instead of u is nothing but the initial velocity. So in this case, the initial velocity is the velocity at location A2, and that is VB. T is the overtaking time plus half AT square. So A is the acceleration of that vehicle, vehicle A, or the overtaking vehicle or fast moving vehicle. And again, T is the overtaking time, capital T. So if I just equate now equations 1 and 2, because basically both the equations have LHS as D2. So we can simply equate it. And if I equate it, I have just written the first equation as VB into T plus 2S is equal to VB into T plus 1 half AT. So now if you see, this VB term is appearing at both the sides. So we can simply write it as 2S is equal to 1 half AT square. Now what we are actually trying to do is, though we have equations for D2, if you see the unknowns on the right hand side, so we know the value of S because we have a formula for it, but or we know the value of VB as well as acceleration we know for a vehicle which is overtaking, but we do not know this overtaking time, capital T. So why we are equating these equations is we are in the process of finding out this capital T. So up till this stage, 2S is equal to 1 half AT square. Now I want to find out the capital T, so I'll just rearrange the terms. So that gives me capital T is equal to under root 4S upon A. So now this, in this equation, T is equal to under root 4S upon A. I know the value of S because I have an empirical formula for it. I know the value of A because I know the acceleration of the vehicle, of acceleration of the overtaking vehicle. So knowing these two values, I'll be knowing the value of T. Now again, once you know this value of T, I'll substitute this value in equation 1 again. So equation 1 was D2 is equal to 2S plus VB into T. So that just becomes D2 is equal to 2S plus VB into, instead of T, I am writing 4S upon A. So now we have D2 as the unknown that we have to find. And on the RHS, we have the S value, which is known through the empirical formula. The VB value, which is the speed of the overtaken vehicle or the speed of slow moving vehicle. S again is known, and A, we are knowing the acceleration of overtaking vehicle. So all the terms are now known in this formula, and then we are in position to find out T2. So same is the case that is shown here. So now we have found out a formula for D2. Now we have found out a formula for D1, D2. Now remains is D3. Now D3, if you simply if you have understood till now that what is actually overtaking and how it takes place, so you can write the formula for D3 yourself also. It will be just simply design speed V into capital T. Now again, D1 was VB into small t, but D3 is design speed into capital T, because we know that vehicle speed is it is not reducing its speed, so it's traveling with the same design speed that it was till the point C1. And the distance D3, it is the simultaneous motion of vehicle C in the same time frame when the overtaking vehicle or the fast moving vehicle, it is moving from A2 to A3. So we know that from A2 to A3, the time is overtaking time capital T. So simply again, distance is equal to speed into time. So D3 becomes design speed V into capital T, the overtaking time. So now I have just summarized the formulas. D1 is equal to VB plus T. D2 is equal to 2S plus VB into 4S under root 4S upon A. And D3 is equal to design speed V into capital T. So now knowing all the three terms, T1, D2, D3, now what is OSD is nothing but addition of all these three terms. So OSD is nothing but D1 plus D2 plus D3. So this is all with the analysis part. Now we are in a position to find out OSD. Now again, to emphasize, again and again emphasizing this, that OSD is the minimum distance visible to the driver in the process of that overtaking. Okay, it comprises of three components. The first component is the distance traveled during the reaction time, and that reaction time is nothing but time taken by the driver to decide whether to overtake or not. D2 is the actual distance traveled, it is all distances are actual, but D2 is the distance traveled during the actual overtaking process, in which the vehicle A or the overtaking vehicle will overtake the slow moving vehicle or the overtaken vehicle. And third component of OSD is the oncoming vehicle, the distance traveled by the oncoming vehicle, which is traveling at the speed of V, which is the design speed, and it covers that distance in the time interval of capital T, that is overtaking time. So this is all with the analysis of OSD.